Good morning, Kuhner country. Okay, my friends, incredibly dramatic developments now over the weekend. It is now escalating. It is now clearly a national political crisis for the Democratic Party, and the fake news media now is utterly paralyzed, and they don't know what to do. The Democrats have now engaged in their own January 6th. And everybody knows it, and the media now doesn't know how to spin it. So, here is exactly what happened. A federal facility was breached. In fact, it was stormed. And not only was it stormed, but the participants who breached this federal facility they breached it, and it was criminally trespassed. Police officers were assaulted. One was body slammed. Mayhem, pandemonium, chaos everywhere. I'm not talking about January 6, Washington, D.C. I'm talking about what happened at Delaney Hall, federal ICE detention facility in New Jersey. So, let me tell you exactly the context. For several weeks now, the Moonbat mayor of Newark, which is the largest city in New Jersey, Ras Baraka, who, by the way, has turned Newark into a sanctuary city hellhole. Okay, but let that go. Now running for governor of New Jersey, a Democrat, a radical Democrat, has been holding protest, rally, demonstration after demonstration against this detention facility, the Delaney Hall detention facility, where they have now upgraded this facility to now house, detain, and eventually through Newark Airport, deport, remove some of the most vile, violent, criminal illegal aliens in the United States. They want to shut the facility down. They are pro-illegal alien, pro-criminal. He has been told repeatedly, stop breaching the facility. You are criminally trespassing. You don't have a right to be here. Just because you're the mayor doesn't give you the right to constantly trespass on federal property. Well, on Friday, there were 3 New Jersey members of Congress. These are the congressional delegation. 3 members showed up in order to do a so-called inspection of the Delaney Hall detention ICE facility. The key player is Congresswoman LaMonica McIver, Democrat, radical Democrat from New Jersey. She was joined by Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman and Congressman Bob Menendez Jr. Yes, he is the son of the convicted and imprisoned corrupt Senator Bob Menendez. So you see the kind of crowd that showed up. Ras Baraka, and we have it on tape. The body cam footage has now been released. We have seen the evidence, not just witnesses who all testified to the same thing, but also the body cam footage. Baraka, the Newark mayor, was told repeatedly, sir, you're trespassing on federal property, you have to leave. You're trespassing on federal property. We're asking you as nicely as we can ask you, leave. He kept refusing to leave. ICE agents finally had enough, and they put him in handcuffs. When they put him in handcuffs, all hell broke loose. I'm not kidding. The crowd went wild. The protesters went insane. The 3 members of Congress, led by Representative LaMonica McIver, Okay, she's the one, if you've been watching any of the videos, she's the one in the red blazer, the red jacket. The F-bombs were flying on their end. These are members of Congress, for God's sake. Then Congresswoman McIver began to push, to shove, to elbow, yell, scream. At several points, she then threatened numerous ICE agents, saying, I'm going to have your badge. All of you are going to be out of a job. Who are you to talk to me? I am a member of Congress. When the ICE agent said, because she kept pushing them, shoving them, attacking them, assaulting them, she then said, I can touch whoever I want. I can't say this word on the air. Mother effer. The other two members of Congress got involved in the melee as well. Officers then began to become assaulted by other protesters. It was just an absolute disaster. They tried to storm the ICE facility. They were engaged in criminal trespassing. Officers were beaten. Apparently now body cam footage is about to be released of McIver, Congresswoman McIver, physically body slamming a female ICE agent. I want you to just listen to what happened on Friday when they tried to breach this detention facility. Baraka got arrested, the mayor, and then the members of Congress went berserk. The protesters who were there inciting went berserk, and they started to verbally abuse, physically attack, and assault ICE agents left, right, and center. It was something, I'm telling you, out of MMA. You would think members of Congress would behave with more respect, more decorum, more class, frankly, more peace. No. This was an insurrection, or as many of the protesters were openly bragging, an ICE-surrection, an insurrection against ICE. Here's just a taste of what it was like to be there at Delaney Hall. This is Congresswoman LaMonica McIver and this crowd literally storming the gate of this ICE facility in Newark, New Jersey. Roll cut 3, Mike. Now, ICE agents are trying to restrain them. What you're seeing is them swearing at the ICE agents, hitting ICE agents, punching ICE agents, elbowing ICE agents, shoving ICE agents, and you can see a large, frankly overweight, I'm just going to be honest, a large overweight black woman with a red blazer. That's LaMonica McIver, a congresswoman, who is just really going at it. I mean, she's really going after these ICE agents. Now, listen to, this is body cam footage of an ICE agent of Congresswoman LaMonica McIver physically hitting and punching and shoving ICE officers at Newark facility. It's hard to hear because there's so many F-bombs flying left, right, and center. But this is where she says to one of them, "Get your hands off of me, mother." By the way, like 98% of the swearing is coming from the members of Congress and the protesters. It's not the ICE agents. The ICE agents are the ones saying, please, ma'am, please, sir, show restraint. Please, we need you to back away. Please, you're trespassing. From them, it's all F you, mother effer. Do you know who the F I am? And I think this is the cut where she says, I'll touch whoever I want, mother effer. Roll cut 3A, Mike. And it just went, it was pandemonium. It was literally pandemonium. And so, look, I've seen the footage. It is incredibly disturbing. This is anarchy. This is an insurrection. This is what a real insurrection looks like. And give these people now the January 6th treatment. Monica McIver should be arrested. The other two Democrat members of Congress should be arrested. Okay, biggest story in the country, maybe one of the biggest stories in the world. On camera, the media was there. There's body cam footage now that's also being released. Countless witnesses. There is no way they can get out of this. Okay, the ball is now clearly in Pam Bondi's court. The mayor of Newark, okay, the largest city in New Jersey, Ras Baraka, a radical Democrat, pro-illegal alien, pro-criminal, has been staging multiple protests just the last week alone. Never mind over the last couple of weeks, repeatedly calling for Delaney Hall, an ICE detention center, which is near Newark International Airport, so they can quickly remove illegals out of our country, to be shut down. He wants it gone. He wants it completely shuttered. And he's been doing everything he can to try to gin up local opposition against it. While 3 members of Congress were attempting to tour the facility, he criminally trespassed onto the facility. He was told repeatedly, you're not allowed to be here. You have to leave. This is a federal facility. You are a local official. You're causing trouble. You're leading a group of protesters. It doesn't matter. They stormed the facility. He was then arrested. The members of Congress, when they saw him get arrested, led by Congresswoman LaMonica McIver, there's no other way to say it, they went ballistic. With her red blazer on, her red jacket, the F-bombs began to fly. She began to threaten ICE agents first verbally, saying they were all going to be fired. Do you know who I am? I am a member of Congress. And then it was F you, you're a mother effer, I can touch whoever I want, mother effer. She then began, at one point, she literally went for an ICE agent's throat. Other times, pushing, punching, shoving. The body cam footage is all there. Furthermore, there's going to be a body cam footage released today of her physically body slamming a female ICE agent. Now, there is no question. There's no question. This was an insurrection. An insurrection against ICE, an insurrection against federal law enforcement, an insurrection against the Trump administration. They were engaged in criminal trespassing. They were obstructing an official proceeding. They were obstructing federal law enforcement. They were aiding and abetting criminal behavior. And they were assaulting federal law enforcement agents. Now, I'm talking about there's a whole battery of charges now. This, without question, is worse than January 6th. Because this involved 3 members of Congress and a mayor, public officials, government officials, members of Congress. There's no question. There's absolutely no question. Now, the Democratic Party has been silent. Hakeem Jeffries has not condemned the New Jersey congressional delegation for their actions. The media now really doesn't know what to do because half of them supports what they did. Half their mind says we support completely what they did because they despise ICE. And look how far now they are willing to go. Look how far they're willing to go to protect. We're not talking again single mothers with children. The children, the mothers, the illegals being detained in that detention facility are MS-13 Trender-Aragua gangbangers, murderers, rapists, drug dealers, convicted criminals. I'm talking scum of the scum. And you want to shut that detention facility down? You want to keep them what, in Newark? You want to keep them in New Jersey? Notice, have they ever once visited the graves of Americans murdered or slaughtered or killed by illegal aliens? Have you noticed that? They never cry for the victims, even once. Not one American citizen that has been killed by them have they ever shed a tear. But for these criminals, for these gangbangers, for these terrorists, they are willing now to literally storm the facility and assault ICE agents, body slamming them, punching, kicking, grabbing them by the throat. I'm going to play a cut on the other side. And you tell me if this is conduct becoming of a member of Congress. It's going to be Congresswoman LaMonica McIver with the F-bombs flying, hitting them, assaulting them, and then saying, after she's assaulting them, you put your hands on me, you're going to pay. You're going to lose your job. You're all going to go to jail. How dare you touch me? Her sense of entitlement, her arrogance. Okay, remember now, this is a member of Congress. This is unbelievable. So, you've got people going crazy everywhere. You've got ICE agents being assaulted. Protesters now attacking ICE agents. She's leading the way. The Newark mayor has been arrested for trespassing. Others are being arrested. And she's just fanning the flames. And, the audio doesn't quite do it justice. She's going nose to nose with some ICE agents, like yelling in their face. First, you see her elbowing, punching, pushing, shoving her way. And then she really starts giving some of these ICE agents the business. Right in their face. F you. Do you know who the F I am? I'm a member of Congress. I'll touch whoever I want, mother effer. And then she says, you know what? You put your hands on, like she's the victim. You put your hands on me, you are going to pay. Roll cut 3B, a mic.
This Perez! This Perez, get your get your hands off for her. You can't talk to a congresswoman like that. And you gotta put your hands on me? You will pay. You guys are creating this. You will pay. And Mr. Rest, we know that's wrong.
It's unbelievable. Honestly, it's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. And she's the aggressor. She's the instigator. No one laid a hand on her. She's the one assaulting ICE agents, body slamming an ICE agent. And then she's like, you're going to pay. I'm a member of Congress. How dare you do this? Now, a couple more points, and then I want to go right to the phone lines. 617-266-6868 is the number. Look, I think there's no question now. Pam Bondi is going to have to throw the book at them. Alina Habba, who used to be President Trump's personal attorney, is now the acting district attorney for New Jersey. She has now come out and said that they have arrested the mayor of Newark. They're not going to drop charges. So we'll see what happens. But looks like Mayor Ras Baraka, tough guy, he's going to have a criminal record and he may go to jail. Now, Alina Habba now says that she's seriously considering charging these 3 members of Congress with criminal trespass and assaulting ICE agents. I would go even further. I'm sorry. They made the precedent, not me. They started this with January 6th. You stormed a federal facility. You breached it. You assaulted federal law enforcement officers. You were in the effort to shut down an ICE detention facility. You obstructed an official proceeding. According to you, this is an insurrection, and according to you, this is terrorism. I'm just going by your definition now to the Democrats and the liberals. So, if that's the case, put him in solitary confinement, arrest every single member of Congress, and throw the book at that mayor of Newark, and all 4 of them, including all these other protesters. We can call them the May Niners, because this occurred on May 9th. So these are the May Niners. And let them rot in solitary confinement, like all the J6ers did, for a full year with no charges. And then eventually we'll get our way to making charges, setting forth the charges. Give them the full J6 treatment. They should be arrested. I believe they should be expelled from Congress. And I believe now they should be officially branded as insurrectionists. And maybe, just maybe, the Democrats are going to learn. Now, you can see now, first it was Elon, it was Tesla dealerships, then, they're going after Trump supporters. Now they're really venting their rage at ICE agents, and ICE detention facilities. And you've noticed now, the violence is escalating. They're no longer just torching cars. Now it's members of Congress and mayors, politicians, public officials. Now they're attacking police. Now they're breaching. Now they're storming facilities. Now they're calling for blood on the streets. So it's obvious now. The Democrats are engaging in open political terrorism as a tactic. Now, I believe this is going to completely blow up in their face. I think the American people look at this on so many levels. The hatred, the lawlessness, the violence, the anarchy, frankly, the insanity of the whole thing, and are recoiling in horror. But I think an example now needs to be made. As the Democrats kept saying against Trump over and over and over again, no one is above the law. That's right. No member of Congress, no mayor, no politician, no Democrat is above the law. You break the law, arrest them, and put them in jail. Agree, disagree. I believe that these 3 Democrat members of Congress, led by McIver, Congresswoman McIver, who to me has a career in the WWE, frankly. This woman, I'm telling you, MMA or wrestling. This woman can punch with the best of them. Let me tell you, that's a big woman. Whoa, okay? That woman's a fighter. So, should she go to jail? I say yes. Should she be expelled from Congress? I say yes. And should she be given the full J6 treatment? I say yes. What say you? 617-266-6868. And maybe the ultimate question, was this an insurrection? Is this now the Democrats' January 6th? I say yes. That's what I put out on X last night. The Moonbats went berserk, but it's true. Do you agree? Let's go to Mel in New York. You're going to kick us off, Mel. As always, thanks for holding and welcome.
Hey, good morning, Jeff. How are you today?
Good, very good.
Great. I want to give you a black man's perspective on this situation. I'm an American, as I always say, that happens to be black. You know, Jeff, I guarantee you there wasn't 1/10 of 1% of black New Jersey or people who live in Newark at that incident. This happens to be Democrats, black puppets that are out there doing this stuff because black folks in general do not want these people here in this country stepping over there, or stepping above them over the economic ladder. Because this is exactly what's happening, and black folks see that. They see these people coming here stealing jobs, taking all sorts of social benefits that they're not entitled to. The black folks, believe me, Jeff, they don't want to be on that. So if they had an opportunity, to have a job, and a good manufacturing job, a good any type of job that had decent pay to it, they would take it. But with what's happened with Bill Clinton with his NAFTA, CAFTA, sending all of our manufacturing out of this country and call it free trade instead of fair trade, black folks see that, and they're basically trapped in the ghetto because of the Democrats. And I guarantee you, Jeff, if there were any black folks out there from Newark, they would have assisted the ICE agents and the ICE agents at this detention center to arrest that big black heifer. I guarantee you that, Jeff, because if I was there, I would I know I'd been in handcuffs because a congresswoman or whatever. Who the hell do you think you are? You're not God. You're not Jesus Christ. These people they're insane. Who do you think I am? I don't give a god dog who you are. The point is, it's just the white liberal Democrat is using these black puppets as a tool, and when they're done with what they need out of these black folks, these so-called quote unquote Congress people, black congressmen and women in Congress, they'll throw their black asses under the bus.
I agree. Mel, you're completely right. No, you're right, as usual. They're being used. They're being used as patsies, and they get them all whipped up about what's happening at that ICE detention facility and lack of due process. And today it's the illegals, tomorrow it's minorities. And, it's just outrageous. It really is how they're lying and deceiving and manipulating people around this country. The fact of the matter is, criminal illegal aliens don't belong here. They should be deported. That's all these detention facilities are there for. That's exactly why they're there. Now, what I find incredible is that you have these Democrats now who literally think that they can assault law enforcement with impunity, that they can storm an ICE facility with impunity. I think that mayor was told dozens of times to leave. So clearly they think they're untouchable. And they said it. We can do whatever we want. Well, the question is, can they? Now, the mayor has been arrested. You can just tell now that the Democrats are so driven now by their rhetoric against Trump, against his deportations, against ICE, that they just can't control themselves. And they think that the more outrageous they behave, somehow it's going to score them points with their base. What they don't realize is they're making absolute idiots and fools of themselves. and they are committing countless crimes in the process. Agree, disagree. Members of Congress, 3 of them from New Jersey, including as well as the mayor of Newark, storm an ICE facility in New Jersey, it's Delaney Hall, and assault federal agents. There was a bedlam broke out, a riot broke out. Protesters who were there to show their support for these members of Congress and the mayor of Newark, Baraka is his name, engaged in, they stormed the facility as well. They assaulted, beat, hit, attacked ICE agents. There were multiple arrests, including the mayor himself. The question now is, will these members of Congress be charged, arrested, and put in jail? Congresswoman LaMonica McIver is clearly seen on body cam footage, hitting ICE officers, assaulting ICE officers. Footage is going to be released today, apparently, according to ICE, in which she is literally body slamming. Body slamming. That's why I say she belongs in the WWE, the World Wrestling Entertainment, and professional wrestling. She could be like the female version of Hulk Hogan. I mean, this is a member of Congress, for God's sake. Ay, ay, ay. So, anyway, the ball now is in Alina Habba's court. She is the acting district attorney for New Jersey. And ultimately, it's in Pam Bondi's court. I say arrest him and expel him from Congress. Give him the full J6 treatment. But that's me. I want to hear from you. 617-266-6868. Gary in Woburn. Thanks for holding, Gary, and welcome.
Yes, Jeff, I'm 10 minutes away from bedtime because I work there at shift, so I'm just going to come out and say it. First of all, you're right on the money, and let's face the facts about something. This is a felony. This is not a misdemeanor. I'm already going to be Nostradamus right now by saying it's a court case. It's big, big, big news. It's a dagger to the Democratic Party. Once these people are found guilty and so forth, guess what? You committed a felony. You have lost your job. And that's all I got to say.
Because this now negates their entire January 6th narrative. I don't want to repeat myself, but again, I want to challenge any Democrat to call in and try to refute this basic fact. What they did at Newark, at the Delaney Hall detention facility, is infinitely worse than what happened on January 6th. Why? Because whatever you want to say about January 6th, public officials were not involved in breaching the Capitol. These were 3 members of Congress and the mayor of Newark. Never mind all the other protesters. But it was 3 politicians, 3 Congress members. Okay, 2 congresswomen and a congressman. Okay, so it was 3 of them. And the mayor of New York, who breached, stormed the facility, and physically assaulted ICE agents, law enforcement agents. Say whatever you want about J6, not one congressman was involved. Not one mayor was involved. Not one public official was involved. So this destroys the J6 narrative completely, and they know it. And Gary's dead on. These were felonies. These are major felonies. Here, let me ask all of you. If you stormed a federal facility and engaged in criminal trespassing and then physically attacked and assaulted multiple law enforcement agents, including body slamming one of them, tell me, do you think you would be facing charges? Would I be facing charges, say, if you or I did this? Or do you think there would be a debate, should we charge the person or not charge the person? you and I would be in jail right now, charged to the hilt. Our heads would be spinning. We would be in jail so fast. Am I wrong? So what's the difference in this case? Why? Because they happen to be members of Congress? Well, I'm sorry. They're not above the law. We don't have a two-tier justice system. Being a member of Congress is not a get-out-of-jail-free card. It doesn't entitle you to engage with absolute, to conduct yourself with absolute impunity and break every law. So if anyone else would go to jail like this at the drop of a hat, then Monica McIver should be in jail. Sorry, LaMonica McIver should be in jail. Bob Menendez Jr. should be in jail. The other member of Congress, Bonnie, whatever her name is, should be in jail. All three of them should be in jail. Am I wrong? Like, am I missing something? 617-266-6868. Agree, disagree. Mark in Medford. Thanks for holding, Mark, and welcome.
Good morning, Jeff, and happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday to you, Mark.
So Jeff, yes, this was an insurrection. Yes, they should be charged and arrested for the crimes. And yes, they should be expelled from whatever office they're holding. But Jeff, I have a question and then a comment after, so bear with me, okay? Are these people actually being deliberately stupid and ignorant at the same time? Because they know what it says in the Constitution. They know it says, if you are here illegally, you do not have any rights, especially due process, as a United States citizen. They know it. They see it. It's in black and white. So they're deliberately being ignorant and they're deliberately being stupid. And like you said, they are making themselves look foolish and they're making themselves look like idiots, Jeff. And what I want to say is this. Remember, Jeff, January 6th was worse than 9/11, Pearl Harbor, and the Civil War combined. So I guess now we could say the same thing about what happened in New Jersey.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, brilliant. If this is as bad or worse than January 6th, then, well, my God, it's Pearl Harbor, 9/11, World War II, the Civil War, all of it combined. They should be looking at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years in jail by their own logic. Mark, you hit the nail right on the head, as usual. Mark, thank you very, very much for that call. Well, look, here. She then, after engaging in this, okay, after allegedly body slamming a female ICE agent, and we have the body cam footage, you see her hitting, punching, shoving. She grabbed one ICE agent literally by the throat, okay, with the F-bombs and the mother effer and all of this. She then holds a press conference. And she's there with the other members of Congress from the New Jersey delegation. And listen to this. She's the victim. After they arrested the mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka, she said, they crossed the line. They're arresting people for no reason. People are being disappeared. This is fascism. I had no choice but to respond. She's the victim. I'm not kidding. They were just there for a tour of the facility. We were just there for a tour, minding our own business, until evil ICE showed up. Roll cut 4. This is the Twilight Zone. Mike, if you could play the music, dee-doo-dee-doo, dee-doo-dee-doo. That's what this is now. Trust me, you're about to enter the Twilight Zone, or in this case, the LaMonica McIver Zone. Roll cut 4, Mike.
To arrest the mayor of the largest city of this state who did nothing wrong.
It's unacceptable? Lady, are you kidding me? Let me tell you what's unacceptable. Well, I'll tell you what's unacceptable. What's unacceptable is you. We have the body cam footage. You pushing, punching, elbowing, shoving federal ICE agents and yelling and screaming, I'm going to get you, you mother effer. I can touch whoever I want, mother effer. Do you know who I effing am? F you, I'm going to have your badge. F you, you're going to be in jail. F you, you don't touch me this way. I'm a member of Congress. I mean, you acting like a thug. Honestly, like a gang-banging thug. That, to me, is what's absolutely unacceptable. And how many times is this mayor going to lead stupid protests in front of that detention facility? Seriously, how many times? How many times is he going to trespass? How many times? Dozens of times he was told, stop criminally trespassing. Look, I got more cuts. We have literally, there's body cam footage of him being told, sir, please leave. No, we're going to have to arrest you. We're asking you nicely now. Leave. He won't leave. He won't leave. Because the guy thinks he's untouchable. And then she goes on about, to see the mayor of the biggest city in New Jersey being arrested. Really? To see the former president of the United States of America be arrested not once, not twice, not even 3 times, but 4 times. With the FBI raiding his home, guns drawn, going through his house like he was some kind of, I don't know what, common criminal. And all of you idiots shouting in unison, no one is above the law. No one's above the law. But now, this loser mayor in Newark, suddenly now what? He's above the law? You're above the law? I'll be honest. I never heard of this congresswoman until this. You know, they're a spineless, supine bunch. And they just, meld together. So, these backbenchers, I never heard of this one. I'll tell you, she's got a great career in MMA. If things don't work out for her in politics, believe me, this woman's going to make some serious money either in professional wrestling or mixed martial arts. Because, man, she can throw those punches. And apparently she can body slam with the best of them. But, I mean, this is I would be ashamed. Really, let me ask all of you, really. You're a sitting member of Congress. And you're throwing haymakers, punches. You're grabbing an ICE agent by the throat. And every second word is F this, F you, F, 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 F. The F-bombs flying left, right, and center. As you're supporting someone who's literally criminally trespassing and storming a federal facility. Like, I'm sorry, are we in the ghetto or are we in Congress? Because it seems to me that some of them don't know the difference. And then to me, this is the part, I would be embarrassed. Look, I'm telling you, if this was Japan, they would commit hiri-kiri, suicide, out of shame. I've embarrassed myself. I've embarrassed my spouse. I've embarrassed my children, my family, everything. Allah, and they just commit, whatever. They jump out a window or whatever they do nowadays. She calls a press conference and I'm the victim. We just came for a tour and then to see them. She's basically saying the sight of the mayor of Newark being arrested triggered them. That's what she's saying. When we saw him get arrested, we just saw red. Like, you can't blame us for our actions. Because when they did that, we're not responsible for our actions anymore. We just lost it. We had no more self-control. Well, I'm sorry. You're not above the law. Democrats are not above the law. And this loser mayor of Newark is not above the law. Am I wrong? Agree? Disagree? 617-266 6868. Barbara in Maryland. Thanks for holding, Barbara, and as always, welcome.
Thanks for taking my call, and good morning. What a great show. Well, a couple of things. Number one, I'm not against Pam Bondi, but you said something very, very significant to me, and that is who's responsible. Pam Bondi is a great attorney, very good attorney general in the situations like what happened where she was in Florida. She was out in Pennsylvania, you know, when the election was stolen in 2020, all of that good stuff. But Pam Bondi is not an aggressive AG. Ken Paxton, in my opinion, or Matt Whitaker, in my opinion, would have been arresting these people from the jump. That's the problem. See, they've been allowed to do this so long, they now feel entitled to break the law. And compare Chrissy Nome and Pam Bondi. Compare Tom Holman and Pam Bondi. Do you think that New York State DA's office that had all the documents that wouldn't turn over documents, do you think Tom Holman or Chrissy Nome would have hesitated to do what Elon Musk did and close down USAID, not let them in until they got what they wanted? Pam Bondi didn't do that. She set the precedent when she allowed too many things. They should have been on top of that and squashed it. Instead, now you got people who've been killed and a lot of Jewish kids threatened and beaten going to school. That should have never happened from the time from January 21st, in my opinion. I like her, but you have, a lot of people feel, oh, you can't criticize President Trump's cabinet members. Not criticizing his cabinet member, simply criticizing her job. Because I still think she's a cute Barbie doll. She looks real good on Fox News. Sometimes I think she's auditioning for a talk show or something on Fox. But I don't think she's doing her job. And that's where I lay. And I'm so sick of these people. These Democrats have taken advantage of Republicans being nice. And Bob Menendez Jr., you think he'd be ashamed to do anything where his name is going to be made public after his dad has literally shamed the entire family. So, he needs to go home. But that's just how I feel about it. And I like Pam. I think she's real cute. But I don't see her as an assertive, aggressive district attorney dealing with what I consider to be anarchy and treason, even, by these people. I think she's taking too much.
Barbara, let me ask you point blank. You're clicking on all cylinders as usual. The mayor of Newark, these three Democrat members of Congress, LaMonica McIver, I think, is the instigator of she's the one that really spearheaded and instigated and incited much of the violence, the mayhem, the chaos that took place. Should all four of them go to jail? And the Democrat members of Congress, should they be kicked out of Congress?
Of an example of how people are supposed to act. They get paid enough money. $175,000 is a lot of money to do what they're doing. It's just like Cory Booker and that other fool sitting on the steps singing Kumbaya in the Senate. They're not elected to do that. They're not doing their job. And yes, they should all go to jail in unison. And the body slammer, she hasn't even started. Whoever she body slams, she's going to pay them personally. That's a civil suit. And she could just start counting her money and lawyer up. Because I'm sure that whoever it was, if she body slammed and punched, she's going to be broke. And at least I hope so.
Interesting. Barbara, as always, thank you very, very much for that call. You know, I love that nickname. I'm going to call her the Body Slammer from now on. Barbara, I like it. I don't know if you got a patent on it, but if you don't, I'd love to use it, Barbara. 61, the Body Slammer. 617-266-6868. Mike, how much time left? Okay. I'm going to come back, only 15 seconds. So I'm going to come back on the other side. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, as many of you know, this Saturday, okay, May 17th, this coming Saturday, from 10 a.m. until noon, we are going to be holding a major rally, a huge rally, at the steps of the State House, right in front of Boston Common. We are going to be demanding that the Ballot One initiative that passed by, 72% or almost 72%, that now be honored by the governor, by the House majority, by the House Speaker, by the Senate President, by the Attorney General, because they're refusing to honor the ballot, that demands a state audit, an independent state audit of the budget and the entire state legislature spending. Okay, basically our version of Doge. Now, why am I mentioning this? I hope all of you show up. We need to have our voices be heard. If you're going to end the corruption, this is how you do it. But more importantly, when we had our rally just a couple of weeks ago, police came by and said, keep the sidewalk clear, keep the sidewalk clear. We kept the sidewalk clear. I'm not talking, we didn't storm the state legislature. We weren't criminally trespassing. We didn't start hitting state or assaulting state representatives and their staffers. Or, punching law enforcement or grabbing them by the throat or body slamming them or kicking and stomping and elbowing them. Just to give you an example. So now I'm not a member of Congress. I'm not a mayor. So, we hold a rally and we are infinitely more law abiding, infinitely more respectful, infinitely, frankly, more professional than these idiots who are supposed to be members of Congress, or in this case, the mayor of Newark, which they keep telling us is the largest city in New Jersey, as if that's supposed to mean something. Now, all I'm thinking is, never mind going to the airport, because you're lucky if you leave alive, okay, if you fly into that airport, fly in or out. You just go through Newark. It's a third world hellhole. Rather than, filling up the potholes, getting the drugs and the gangs and the criminals off the streets, call me crazy, maybe attract a few businesses, get some jobs coming back, revitalize the urban core, have good, decent, safe schools, little things like this. No. This guy, Baraka, he's got to go there. He's spending 3-4 times a week protesting the ICE detention facility. And then what the hell? Let's storm it while we're at it. Let's have a little bit of fun and do our own J6, our own January 6. So, after getting arrested, after illegally, criminally trespassing, after helping to storm the facility, he then runs to CNN, Caitlin Collins. This is CNN. And listen to this. Again, welcome not to the Twilight Zone, to the Baraka Zone. Roll cut 5, a mic.
Had there been warnings? What had happened?
Well, absolutely not. I mean, we could. The reality is, Alina Habba wasn't there. The U.S. attorney wasn't there. She doesn't know what happened. Clearly, that is not the context of what happened. I was there for over an hour in that space, and nobody ever told me to move. I was in there for over an hour. Not a single person, not an officer from ICE, not any of the security guards. Nobody told me to leave that place. Somebody from Homeland Security came in the end. and began to escalate the situation, and we wound up being where we are today. And that's, frankly, the extent of it.
Okay, so this is a very strange argument. Well, Alina Habba wasn't there. Like, okay, as Sandy said to me, well, I wasn't at Pearl Harbor, but I know it happened. I don't know, tell me, was Alvin Bragg there? Was Letitia James there? I don't know, was Fannie Willis there? I don't know, was Jack Smith there? That didn't stop you from prosecuting Trump. I mean, just to show you how absurd this argument is. Like, well, she wasn't there. No, but cameras were, ICE agents were, witnesses were. I mean, you don't have to be there to charge someone with a crime. Duh. How much time left, Mike? All right, but listen now to him. Well, I didn't go there to break any laws. This is now his argument. First he's saying no one told him to leave, which is a lie. A brazen, blatant, obvious lie. Now it's I didn't intend to break the law. Roll cut 5A, Mike.
I didn't go there to break any laws. I didn't break any laws. I was there as the mayor of the city, exercising my right and duty as an elected official, supporting our Congress people, preparing for a press conference that was supposed to happen there. I did not enter that place unlawfully. I did not break any laws, and so all of that is incorrect. So she was not there, so she should get some better information. Yeah, well, the cameras, and I'm going to play the body cam footage on the other side. You've got the body cam footage where they're telling him to his face, Sarah, you're not supposed to be here. Sir, this is trespassing. We've told you this many times already. Please leave. Please leave. They go, you're breaking the law. Please leave. Sorry, either you laugh or you cry. This guy's like, I mean, talk about a hustler and a grifter, And look at CNN. No pushback whatsoever. No, Mayor, with all due respect, for God's sake, we have it on tape. We've got the body. You've got witnesses. You've got countless ICE agents. But we've got the freaking tape. Jeff Kuhner, liberalism's worst nightmare, baby. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, the Democrats now have their own insurrection. The mayor of Newark, radical Democrat, Ras Baraka, arrested for criminally trespassing at an ICE detention facility, told repeatedly to leave, refused to leave. But it got worse from there. 3 New Jersey members of Congress, okay, one crazier than the other, led by the body slammer, Congresswoman LaMonica McIver, upon the sight of seeing Baraka, the Newark mayor, the mayor of Newark being arrested, they went berserk. They began to attack ICE agents, yelling, screaming, shouting. They stormed the facility. Protesters joined them. It was bedlam, absolute bedlam. It was clear they wanted violence to break out. Violence did break out. Listen now to Newark Mayor Ras Baraka, almost crying now on CNN, saying that the fact that he was arrested was beyond humiliating and for him beyond painful. Roll cut 5B, a mic.
What's your understanding of what happens next year? Were there conditions to your release? What was discussed before you left today?
Well, I mean, I obviously was charged with federal trespassing and, which is a Class C misdemeanor. But, going through this is just really humiliating and painful. But the reality is this is what democracy is, right? And so, we are in dispute here, and we just living in a time period now where if you are opposed to the ideas of people, you could be threatened with arrest or intimidation, and that's exactly what's happening. And that's not the America that we want to be in. That's not the America that people chose to move thousands of miles from around the world to. This is not this place, and they're turning it into an authoritarianist government.
An authoritarianist government. Right? I think it's authoritarian government, but anyway, let that go there, Baraka. So let me get this straight. This is what democracy's all about. We storm. We just shut detention facilities down if they're going to deport criminal illegal aliens. Violent criminal illegals. No, we just shut them down. And if we can't shut them down, we just storm. And we trespass. And then if that doesn't work, hey, you just start beating the hell out of the cops. Or in this case, the ICE agents, the federal agents. You kick, you stomp, you body slam, you elbow in the face, you grab by the throat. That's how you do it. And it's members of Congress that lead the way. That's democracy. I mean, No, I think this guy has a future as a possible presidential candidate for the Democrats. I think many moonbats. I think Bill and Sudbury's listening to this guy and say, yeah, that's our guy. All right, so listen now. This is from the body cam footage. There is so much of it. I could be playing this for 4 hours. I'm not going to do that, obviously. Here's just a taste. This is a Homeland Security agent asking Baraka to leave. Now, when you listen to the clip, he also goes on to point out, this Homeland Security agent, that warnings have been given to the Newark mayor multiple times. He's like, sir, we've told you repeatedly, get your ass out of the facility. You're trespassing, dude. And then you can hear McIver, the body slammer. Okay? Congresswoman McIver. You can hear her in the background. Okay? She's now with the red blazer. She's now going to throw her weight around. She's getting involved. Now she's ready to instigate. Roll cut 6, a mic.
Please move out of the way. I can't have it. You're not a cop. You're not a cop. You're not saying. That's not how this works. Sir, listen, I'm not asking you again. Right? I've already given you two opportunities now to walk out. You're going to walk out. I told them I was waiting for you. They're trying to arrest me. They let me in.
This is what I mean. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm trying to arrest the mayor of the
property, and you cannot block the arrest your group.
Arrest you! It's crazy how we do it.
We all going to jail like animals.
Why are y'all creating a problem? Why
So the audio is not the best, but if you hear it, and by the way, if you go on YouTube or whatever, you can see it, hear it, and they even have the chatter underneath where they say, sir, we've already told you several times to leave. This is private property. This is a private detention facility contracted out by ICE. It's not public property. It's private property. It's run by a group called GEO Group, G-E-O. So they don't have a right to be there. And the mayor of Newark says, well, I want to join the members of Congress. And they say, sir, you're not a member of Congress. They asked, we gave them permission to do a quick tour, to do an inspection. You have been protesting for God knows how many weeks now, and we're telling you, you don't have the right to come into the facility. Now, we've asked you multiple times to leave. And then he says, what are you going to do, arrest me? What are you going to do, arrest me? And that's when they say, like, okay, yeah, we're going to arrest you. And then you hear, the body slammer in the background when she hears arrest, right away, what are you doing? What are you doing? You better not arrest him. What's wrong with you? And that's when everything everything just exploded after that point. So they were looking for trouble. They found trouble. 617-266-6868. So now the Democrat mayor of Newark has been arrested. And these three members of Congress, the body slammer in particular, LaMonica McIver, is now seriously facing potential indictments and charges. My question to you, should they be charged and should they be expelled from Congress? I say yes on both counts. What say you? Dan in New Hampshire. Thanks for holding, Dan, and welcome.
Thanks a lot, Jeff. I'm with you in some of your thinking here. You've got Letitia James, Bragg, Jack Smith. I think that, once that these people, and all of course, the ones that showed up at the federal prison and the Congress people, I think that they've got a great career after their 1 year in jail. I think that we really should call Joe Rogan, set up a little tag team match with maybe Hulk Hogan, Sylvester Stallone, and maybe Brock Lesnar. And I'll tell you what, I'll watch it, I'll have my popcorn, and I'll have a Diet Coke with you. And I'm telling you right now, it was riveting TV to see these people just so unjustly and arrogantly and without any, how can I say, respect of the law. I mean, let's face it, they're not representing Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, and they're not protecting Lone Tree Council. I mean, these people are trying to stand up for the worst scourge that's hit this country in decades, and they basically want to represent them and try to get them out and put them on the streets and let them rampage on us. These people have gone too far. We, as average people, have respect of the law. We respect the police. The police say, okay, give me a license. We give it to them. They say, stop. We stop. And we're expected to step up for the law every day. These people are the ones that were elected to respect it all, to be our representatives. And look at them. They're chaotic. They don't represent us. They never have represented us. They represent their own and their own twisted ideologies. And quite honestly, Jeff, I think they got a hell of a career after they get tossed out of being a congressperson and a mayor. And I think that maybe I'd love to see that tag team. I'd love to see it. I'd watch it. I'd be with you with the Diet Coke and the popcorn. I'm telling you right now, Jeff, this is disgusting. It's against the American way. People who have respect for this country don't act like that. And they're the ones that are in charge. I'm telling you right now, that's disgusting. And everybody in the country should look at it as being disgusting because they don't represent us. They represent themselves and their twisted ideology.
Well, Dan, it begs the question, and you're dead on. You're absolutely dead on. It begs the question, now they're willing to go to jail for violent, criminal, illegal aliens. That detention facility, you can look it up. They're not holding a single mother with a child. They're holding convicted murderers, rapists, child molesters, drug dealers, human traffickers. Again, the worst of the worst. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, now get ready for this. So here is Tricia McLaughlin. She is a spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security, which obviously oversees ICE. And she went on, This is CNN, and said all three members of Congress, not just the body slammer, not just LaMonica McIver, but all three of them, Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman of New Jersey, Bob Menendez Jr. of New Jersey, all of them now are facing possible arrest. Everything now is on the table. Listen now to Tricia McLaughlin saying, we've got the footage. Congresswoman McIver, the body slammer, body slammed a female ICE agent. There's no getting around it. Roll cut 13. A mic.
We should let viewers know there will likely be more arrests coming. We actually have body camera footage of some of these members of Congress assaulting our ICE enforcement officers, including body slamming a female ICE officer. So we will be showing that to viewers very shortly.
You say a video of members of Congress body slamming ICE
That's correct.
officials?
That's correct, sir. It's disgusting.
Okay, and so if you have that video, are you suggesting that members of Congress will be arrested who were there yesterday?
This is an ongoing investigation, and that is definitely on the table.
Who has the video?
ICE does, and we will be releasing that very shortly.
Okay.
And you can see CNN is like, oh no, oh no, oh no. You can see that. Oh no, oh no. Anyway, it's going to happen today. ICE is saying they're going to release the video probably, I don't know, what, 12 o'clock, noon today, whenever. It's going to come in a couple of hours. So the pressure is going to build. It's going to be inexorable pressure to start arresting these people. Now, the question I have for you, Alina Habba has already ordered the arrest, and he's been charged now with criminal trespassing on federal property, the mayor of Newark, okay, Ras Baraka. But arresting a mayor is one thing. Arresting members of Congress, that's a different kettle of fish. That's a higher level, much higher level, and it's much more, it's going to lead to escalation. Does Pam Bondi, do you believe, does she have the spine, the steel, the stomach to order the arrest of these members of Congress? Because ultimately, I don't think Alina Habba is going to pull the proverbial trigger unless she gets a green light from Pam Bondi. So, do you think arrests will take place? And should arrests take place? Now, you know that they're worried that these Democrat members of Congress, the New Jersey congressional delegation that stormed that facility and assaulted ICE agents, and essentially they incited a riot, an insurrection. It was clearly an insurrection, or an ICE-surrection, as many on the left are calling it. Listen now. This is another one of the partners in crime. This is another representative that was with them, Democrat representative, member of Congress from New Jersey, Bonnie Watson Coleman. Now, already, this is the spin. When the body cam footage of the body slammer, okay, McIver, slamming a female ICE agent, when that's released, don't believe it. It's quote unquote manufactured. No, it's like the Hunter Biden laptop. It's disinformatio, as the Russians would say. It's Russian disinformation. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. So already they're trying to lie and manipulate Democrats into saying, ICE is going to fabricate the tapes. Unbelievably. Listen now. This is Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman. Roll cut 10. Mike.
The DHS spokesperson I mentioned, who was on the air earlier, is saying that the videotape, the body cam video that would be released later would show the violent nature of the mayor and others body slamming. We don't see that on this videotape, but we do see some movement of bodies and the tussling of the moving of the body cam vantage point, but it doesn't appear to show the mayor being violent or members of Congress being violent with anyone. Did you see anything that would match that description?
No, and as you can see, I was literally in the middle of it. No, if there's any such body, any kind of footage, it is footage that is manufactured for this purpose. Because I said it before and I'll say it again. They are lying.
Right. No, the only ones that are lying is you, and you know it. By the way, I don't know if this CNN reporter is drunk, stoned, high, that needs glasses, is not right in the head. I don't know, or just being paid to lie. I've looked at the footage. It's everywhere. You can clearly see the big woman, the big, the strong woman with the red blazer. Okay, that's the body slammer, Congresswoman LaMonica McIver. You can see her pushing, shoving. One time, she's grabbing an ICE agent by the throat. So this idea that, oh, I see bodies moving, bodies being thrown around, but I don't see the members of Congress doing anything wrong. I don't see it. I'm Mr. Magoo. I'm blind. I'm blind, deaf, and mute. It's not going to work. I'm telling you, it's not going to work. So, look, should all 3 members of Congress, these Democrats, be arrested? No question. Should they be expelled from Congress? No question. And in the wake of January 6th and the precedent established by January 6th, should they be tossed into solitary confinement for, I don't know, about a year and with no charges? And then eventually just charge them with everything under the sun and have them go in jail for 15, 20 years? Yes. Yes. Now, the question is it going to happen? Should it happen? Will they be arrested? Should they be arrested? And do you think Bondi and Alina Habba have the guts to arrest 3 sitting members of Congress on top of the mayor of Newark? 617-266-6868. Guy in Haverhill. Thanks for holding, Guy, and welcome.
Jeff, how you doing today? I saw you on TV the other night. You sound a lot different on TV than you do on the radio, sir.
Oh, okay. Was that on Newsmax?
Yes, sir. What I want to say today is they need to go to jail, sir. They need to be made an example of. This is ridiculous. We have a two-way system, judicial system in this country right now. And I think I'm a little older than you are, sir. And I saw the stuff during the 70s. And I thought that was a mess, and I was just a kid. But this is ridiculous. Okay, they got to go to jail, or they need to be made an example of. And we got a two-tier here. Okay, and it's not going to work. I'm just hoping the American people, like me, just an average dumb American, as a Democrat used to say, keep this in mind. Do not forget this, because we seem to have short memories. But this is what I'm getting at. The Democrats are very desperate right now. They've been playing this card for 10 years to try to turn us into a third world socialist country. They don't care about those aliens. They care about them about as much as they care about us American people. They're for their own agenda, Jeff. They do not care. Let's look at the big picture. If you look at the big picture, what they've been doing with everything in this country, I don't think I have time to get into it all with you, but they're just trying to change it completely. Now they're so desperate that if they lose the midterms, this crap's over with, okay? And the aliens get booted. They're never going to get them in here again the way they did. Okay, number one. Number two, I don't grab this stuff. They were putting people in jail, all right, when Trump was running for president for nothing. And these people are doing everything wrong. Yes, they should be put in jail. They should be terminated from Congress. They are not working for the American people, number one, okay? And that's no good. Number two, what was I getting at here? Number two, it's got to end. It's got to end. What I meant to say is this, Jeff. I don't understand. Do these people really believe their lies? Because they remind me of a person on substance that's in denial. I mean, because they lie and their faces don't get red. So, I mean, they got to be compulsive. I know a few people in life like that.
Oh, I agree. No, Guy, you're no, really, most politicians, not all, I'm not going to say all, but many politicians that I've met are literally compulsive serial liars. They're incorrigible liars. They lie about everything. When I say this, I'm not saying it for a fact, really. They lie about things they don't even need to lie about. You meet them, I'm telling you, like, if they think you met them at the movie theater, you go, what movie did you see? They'll lie about the movie. And you're like, why would you lie about the movie? Because they think that you want them to tell them you've seen this movie when they really saw another movie. Like, that's what I'm saying. They lie. You're like, you just look like a jerk. Why don't you just tell me? I don't know. I'm just going to make up a movie now. You saw the Minecraft movie. I brought my kids to it, so I know Minecraft is out there. So why don't you just say you saw the Minecraft movie? No. They're going to think, I don't know, you like Marvel? Okay, the new Thunderbolts movie. I took Ashton to that this weekend. So they're like, oh, we saw Thunderbolts. I'm like, well, we were in Thunderbolts. I didn't see you. Oh, okay, I saw the Minecraft movie. But why did you lie? Well, because I think you wanted me to, like the Thunderbolts movie. Like, that's the type of person you're dealing with. They lie and lie and lie, and they do it so easily, so often, so repeatedly. You're right. They don't get red in the face. They don't get embarrassed. They don't get humiliated. And that's what you're seeing here. You have them dead to rights. You've got them on camera trespassing. You've got him on camera being told that crazy mayor of Newark, sir, leave. We've asked you to leave. We've told you to leave many times. And then he's egging them. We're going to do it. You're going to arrest me? You're going to arrest me? And they're like, okay. And they arrest the guy. And then they act like he's somehow a political prisoner now. And then you've got these members of Congress losing their minds, yelling, screaming, shouting, obscenities flying, the F-bomb flying, verbally abusing ICE agents, threatening ICE agents with their jobs, their careers, their freedom. And then you see them pushing, shoving, punching, grabbing by the throat. And they're going around saying, we're the victim. We're the victim. This is Trump. This is Trump's America. You could be disappeared. You could be arrested for anything. No, don't storm an ICE facility. Don't trespass. And don't beat the living daylights out of ICE agents. Okay? Stop assaulting and kicking and spitting on and punching ICE agents. And you won't get arrested. Really, it's not that simple. It's not that hard. Forgive me, it's very simple. It really isn't that hard. Listen to Tom Homan, and thank you for that call, guy. Here's Tom Homan on Fox News. And he really goes after the mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka, saying, really, the guy is not the sharpest, the brightest light bulb. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed, I'll tell you this. Roll cut, not very bright. Roll cut 11, Mike.
Well, look, he's not very smart. I mean, bottom line is, that's what the facility's all about. This facility's about due process. This facility's where we put illegal aliens, people in the country illegally, first of all. If you're in the country illegally, they're being detained. And they're screaming and yelling about due process and 14 and all this in the Constitution. This is where due process happens. We have to detain them to go through the due process of, sometimes seeing a judge, sometimes they already have final orders. It's ranging removal to their countries, they're getting travel documents to their countries, and making sure all the administrative processes are followed. So this is exactly what the facility means. And I'll tell you this. I can guarantee you this facility has higher detention standards than any New Jersey facility. This facility has highest detention standards in the industry. You compare that to any jail in New Jersey, and you'd be shocked how high these detention standards are.
He's completely right. In fact, even the members of Congress, these hacks, those 3 New Jersey Democrats, said they did an inspection of the facility. And they said, no, it was very clean. All the fire codes were met, the electricity, all this, the permits, the standards, the codes, water codes, electricity codes, fire codes. They go, the place is very clean. We looked around. Everybody said, no, we got 3 square meals a day. It's not too cold, not too hot. The beds are clean. What are you talking about? Like, really, seriously, what are you complaining about? And he's completely right. If they have final orders, they're gone, and they're just getting their travel papers in order to send them. If not, they have to go in front of a judge, and a judge will make a determination. So they're being detained and getting their due process done or honored or respected. So what are you complaining about? And I'll tell you what it is. They want all of these detention facilities shut down. Why? because they don't want a single violent criminal illegal alien sent back. You see, that's what's now happened. Trump's deportation policy has smoked the left out. The Democrats now have been completely unmasked. Remember what they used to say, the children. Okay, we don't care about the gangbangers and the murderers and the rapists. The children. The mothers, the fathers, the families. No. They don't want the gangbangers gone. The murderers, the rapists, they don't want them gone. That's why I'm telling you, the Democratic Party has now morphed into Dems 13. They are now the party of murderers and rapists. Because it's obvious their power flows from illegal aliens. Their votes flow from illegal aliens. Their money flows from illegal aliens. So every illegal that is sent out, no matter how vicious, no matter how murderous, no matter how dangerous, weakens the power and the wealth of the Democratic Party. That's why they're losing their minds. That's why they're melting down. And now the American people can clearly see it. Listen now to Homan saying, look, there should be arrests. He's openly saying it. You can't obstruct or impede ICE. You're impeding law enforcement. And if you're allowed to impede law enforcement, you have anarchy, chaos. We don't have law and order. We don't have a country anymore. We're a third world banana republic. Roll cut 12. Mike.
You certainly can't trespass in a facility that's contracted by the U.S. government to house criminals. That'd be like breaking into, a state prison, not going through the proper protocols. This creates a huge safety crisis, and these elected politicians know that. This isn't about due process. This isn't about constitutional rights. This is about politics. They simply don't want these people removed from this country. They don't want immigration enforcement in this country. And that's what it's all about. They can try to hide it all they want with these protests around the facility, but we can continue to do what we're doing. That facility's got some of the worst of the worst. We're keeping President Trump's promise to the American people that elected him for the sole reason of securing the border and removing these public safety threats from the communities. That's exactly what they're going to do. They can stand out and scream all they want. They can trespass, they'll be arrested. If they impede, they'll be arrested. If they knowingly harbor and conceal, they'll be arrested. We're going to do this job for the American people.
Amen. Amen. They don't want border security. They don't want immigration enforcement. They don't want criminal, violent, illegal aliens out. And now everybody can see it. Aaron in Idaho. Thanks for holding, Aaron, and welcome.
Jeff, it's been a while since I called you, so before I get to my points, I wanted to tell you this. Last week you said you've been getting criticism from your own fans about criticizing judges. I got 2 words for you. Stop apologizing. As Michael Savage and Mark Levin pointed out 20 years ago, the stench from the bench is making me clench. So you keep that up. Jeff, here's my main point, and I want to close with a big question to you, since you're such a smart guy and you got insider information on Washington, D.C. As far as the Democrats trying to break into this ICE facility, I have a very unique take on this. I'm actually jealous of the Democrats. They're literally fighting like hell for illegal immigrants. I wish Republicans would fight like this for us. What do Republicans keep doing? Going on vacation. It's like every 5 minutes, it's Easter, let's go on vacation. It's Mother's Day, let's go on vacation. June, it's Pride Month, let's go on vacation for a month. So it's like, they did the same thing last time they were in Congress. They went on vacation every 5 minutes. When was the last time the Republicans were yelling and screaming the F-bomb? Oh, my gosh, look at this USAID stuff that's being wasted. I don't recall them saying the F-bomb over that. Now, here is the setup to my question. All we are asking for Republicans...
Aaron, can you do me a favor? I've got a hard break coming. I don't want you to rush it, okay? So please hang on. Aaron's going to ask the $64,000 question. Okay, just very quickly, audience is on fire this morning on Messenger. This is from Larry messaging me on Messenger. Jeff, I notice none of these chuckleheads. I thought it was knuckleheads, but I like chuckleheads, Larry. I notice none of these chuckleheads try to storm VA hospitals to see the subpar conditions that veterans face. Excellent. Well, that's because veterans aren't illegals. Just treat me like an illegal. That's all I ask. This is from Michael on Messenger as well, and he also hits the nail right on the head. Good morning, Jeff. Well, good morning, Michael. Why can't we have a deportation policy like Martha's Vineyard, but for the entire country? That is a great point, Michael, really. Notice how quick when DeSantis sent that plane load of illegals to Martha's Vineyard, what was it, 24 hours, and boom, every single one of them out. They deported him out so fast, everyone's head was spinning. How come we can't have what Martha's Vineyard has? How come that's only for the limousine liberals? The Obamas and the wealthy, powerful elites that have second, third, even fourth homes and mansions on the vineyard. How come they get to have instant deportation and we don't? All right, one more. This is from Eric on Messenger, and he's completely right. Jeff, these politicians lie, the Democrats in particular, because they know the media has their back. And he also goes on to say, Jeff, Pam Bondi is a barking chihuahua. She shows little bite to great opportunities to prove herself. We need a stronger guard dog that attacks. New Jersey is in her lap. Well, now we're going to see what Pam Bondi's made of. I think that's now the question. Will she prosecute and go after these members of Congress? And what's Mike Johnson going to do? Because I think they should be expelled from Congress. Prosecute and expel from Congress. Give them the full January 6th treatment. And let me just ask all of you, imagine if this was flipped. Imagine this was a Republican mayor who illegally trespassed on a federal facility and was arrested. And 3 Republican members of Congress stormed that facility along with the mayor and then began to assault federal agents and were body slamming them and punching them and kicking them and grabbing them by the throat. You think Merrick Garland wouldn't be arresting them? You think the Democrats in Congress wouldn't be calling for their heads? You don't think this would be wall-to-wall, 24/7 media coverage? Insurrection! Terrorism! What's wrong with the Republican Party? Leadership would be demanded to denounce them, to expel them from Congress. They would be saying, throw the book at them. Political terror. No room for violence, political terrorism, insurrection, especially from our politicians and public officials. Oh, my God. You wouldn't hear the end of it. Now, this, they didn't think they were breaking the law. I don't know. I'm looking at the footage. Doesn't look that bad to me. I don't know. They meant well. This is part of Trump's fascist America. What's he doing arresting people? I mean, the hypocrisy is so thick you can choke on it. 617-266-6868. Agree, disagree. Let's go right back to Aaron in Idaho. Aaron, you are on an absolute roll. You were saying what these people did was beyond the pale. It was obscene. It was disgusting. It was clearly trespassing. It was violence. It was assault on federal agents. They should throw the book at them. And you had a question for me. Please pick up where you left off, Aaron.
Well, again, my unique point was Democrats fight like hell for their causes and their future constituents, illegal aliens, to the point that they were willing to be arrested. All we are asking Republicans in Congress to do is codify Trump's executive orders, pass no tax on tips, and cut spending. We're not asking for the moon here. And I get it, Republicans. I don't like conflict either. I can be a squish at times too. But we sent you there to fight. So fight. So, Jeff, here's my big question. Before your show came on here locally, there's a radio show called Red Eye.
In other words, look, why don't the Republicans fight as hard as the Democrats? You never see them go to the wall the way the Democrats do again and again and again. Here, just to give you an example, this Saturday, we're going to be holding a rally. Again, I just want to keep telling everybody about it because it's such an important rally. It's going to be 10 a.m. until noon this Saturday, May 17th, at the steps of the State House in front of the Boston Common. We're going to be demanding that the governor, the House Speaker, the Senate President, and the State Attorney General, think about this, the entire leadership of the state and the leadership of the Democratic Party honor and respect the ballot initiative election results of last November, in which nearly 72% of voters in Massachusetts, Democrats, Republicans, independents across the board, said, we want an independent state audit of the budget, what programs you guys are spending on, and the entire spending of the state legislature. In other words, we want a Doge, but for the state, at the state level. Where's the money going? Who's it going to? Who's benefiting? And they are refusing to open up the books. Why? Because they're trying to hide their corruption and their bribery and their waste, fraud, and abuse. It's so obvious. Now, why am I mentioning this now? We're going to have a few speakers show up who are state reps who are Republicans, and they're really courageous people for doing so. But 95% of the mass Republican Party wants nothing to do with this. Forget the Democrats. They don't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole. 90 to 95% of the Republicans in the Massachusetts Republican Party don't want to show up, don't want to speak. I can't tell you how many people have said, nah, can't make it, don't want to make it, got plans, it's a weekend. Here is a scandal that can bury the Democratic Party. Maybe be the biggest scandal in the history of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Will wipe out the Democrat brand and the Democrat leadership. And you guys are afraid to even speak out? With 72% of the voters backing you? I'll tell you why. Because they're just as dirty. As the Russians would say, kompromat. They're just as compromised. So they've all got their mouths in the trough. They're all feeding off the trough. Give me my cut. A little something for me, just a taste. I want to wet my beak. And so go along to get along. That's why the Republicans never go to the wall. Trump does. Homan does. You can tell Stephen Miller clearly does. You could tell there are members in this administration that are going to fight tooth and nail. And you got others, they'd rather look the other way because they're part of the system. They're part of the problem. They're part of the corruption. Agree, disagree. Adrian in New Mexico. Thanks for holding, Adrian, and welcome.
Good morning, Jeff.
Hi, Adrian.
Jeff. Very good topic, and I'm glad you're reporting about all this, because where I live in New Mexico, this is probably not going to be even mentioned. But anyway, regarding Attorney General Bondi, I really don't have any faith in her. I don't think she's going to prosecute these people, sadly. And I think this is a test. And if President Trump is out there listening, President Trump, he needs to realize that if she's not going to be willing to prosecute people for obvious crimes, she needs to be terminated and replaced by somebody that will do that. We're running out of time. I have no idea how long, if after this next election, if J.D. Vance or there'll be another MAGA president after President Trump. But Attorney General Bondi has not prosecuted one single criminal Democrat. Time is running out. She needs to start prosecuting people.
Oh, I agree. Adrian, we've got a very, very brief window. A very, very brief window. And, maybe it could even be over by the midterms. We'll see what the midterms hold. That's now not this November, it's next November. But, that's why you got to move with lightning speed. Holman gets it. Holman gets it. Kristi Noem gets it. Miller gets it. That's why it's, deport, push. Because it's obvious their strategy now is to delay and to essentially nullify Trump's spectacular election victory and his mandate. Adrian, what I want to ask you is this. Why are the Democrats so determined to keep every single illegal alien in this country? I mean, look, you know me. I think all illegals should go, period, full stop. But I can see an argument for, whatever, a single mom with a child or whatever. But we're not talking that. We're talking they will fight for MS-13. They'll fight for Tren de Aragua. They will fight for drug dealers, child molesters, murderers, rapists, killers, literally killers. Why? Why are they willing to risk everything? Their reputations, their credibility, their brand, the lives of countless Americans. Why are they so determined to keep every single illegal alien here in America, no matter what the cost? What's your theory?
Well, my belief is, first of all, the Democrat Party, they hate the American people. They hate the country themselves. They are definitely anti-America. But on top of that, this is all part of their revolution strategy. They like the crime. They want the crime. They want the chaos. Because this is all about destroying the country. And they're destroying the country from within. The United States of America, and this is, kind of how ridiculous this country has become. We're a country that we're the most successful country in the world, but we're willing to allow ourselves to implode, to be destroyed by the inside or from the inside. And that's a lot of, I think, what it is. It's just they like the chaos, they want the crime, they want the distractions, and then of course it's all about dividing people.
Well, if they want to destroy the country, they're well on their way to doing it. I think there's no question. They don't want to reverse what Biden did. They want to entrench it. They want to ensconce it. They want to establish it. And they're going to keep every illegal if they can in this country. And how many more American citizens get murdered or get raped or their child or they die from fentanyl or drugs? They don't care. I mean, it's so obvious now. They don't care. Adrian, very good call. Thank you so much. Dick in Hudson. Thanks for holding, Dick, and welcome.
Yep. Thank you very much, Jeff. That was a great call. It's so true. I mean, it's just crazy. But you had a bunch of questions. Yes, I think they should do jail time, and bread and water would be a luxury for them. It's just, there's just so many issues you spoke about. Bondi's up against it. If she doesn't do something, this is like a poker game. The stakes just get higher and higher and higher. Propaganda is the most dangerous weapon known to man. It's odorless, tasteless, colorless, and never labeled. But just to get off the air, you have a lot of callers today. We have to take our eye off of the hole and put it on the donut. Sanctuary cities and counties and states. Newark is a sanctuary state. It's a sanctuary city. And guess what's in Newark? That detention center that we were talking about, number one. Number two, the airport. So next, Jeff, I hate to light a fire, but are we going to have sanctuary airports? I'll get off the air. Thank you very much.
It's coming. No, Dick, it's coming. Look, New Jersey's a sanctuary state. Newark is a sanctuary city. It's very obvious. And look at them. They are going berserk. They've been, for weeks, this thing is huge up in New Jersey. It just finally, how do I say this? It boiled over. Okay. Incredible. Absolutely incredible now. So more developments now. So please, you have to listen to this. In Nashville, the mayor now has signed an order demanding he signed an executive order in which he is now creating an early warning system for ICE operations. They want to know when ICE is going to be coming, and then they can alert people to be ready to help these illegal aliens, these criminal illegals, escape being arrested, captured, or detained by ICE. It's insurrection. It's a blatant insurrection. So now you've got mayors saying, okay, hold on, we're hearing through the grapevine, through our sources, ICE is doing a sweep in Nashville today. Get the word out, get the word out, get the word out. So hide, leave, flee, whatever you have to do. ICE is coming. ICE is coming. Now, there was another insurrection actually here in Massachusetts in Worcester. And look out for this story. Not quite as big as Newark, a little bit smaller scale, but it's already getting local attention. It's going to get national play. Trust me. But before I get to the Worcester scandal, and it's a massive scandal, listen now to Minnesota Governor Tampon Tim Walz, Kamala Harris's vice presidential running mate. Why now are Democrats reacting the way they are? What is leading now to this massive backlash against ICE? Wanting to disrupt ICE operations, obstruct them from arresting illegal aliens, preventing them from doing their jobs, protesting and now storming and trespassing on detention facilities because they have created this myth, propaganda, this misinformation, disinformation, and it's succeeding, this campaign, that ICE is essentially now the 21st century Gestapo. That these are totalitarian thugs who are just lawlessly rampaging in community after community and just snatching people for the hell of it and then throwing them onto planes to put them in these supermax prisons in El Salvador. Okay, that's the insanity now. The lies that they're peddling. Listen now to Waltz on MS Left DC. Okay, this is him on MSDNC saying, you know what's going to happen next? Okay, here it is. Here it is now. Brace for it. Roll cut 20. A mic.
No, I think it gets worse, Jen. I don't say that as a pessimist. I say it as about a realist. We will win this. We will win it because the constitutional stays strong. We're still seeing the courts, while they're under stress, upholding. I see Donald Trump, and I said it many months ago, that he will eventually try and incarcerate political opponents. We saw it, whether, threatening my neighbor and dear friend and a man of, perfect character in Tony Evers next door, to threatening people who don't fall in line. Look, we're going to have a military parade for him. I was only half tongue-in-cheek saying this guy will be in a military uniform before long. He is fully headed towards authoritarianism. It is fully about the corruption about those who are around him, and we're still trying to function out here in the states and as governors in a way that I'm negotiating in good faith with Republican legislators here, but it feels a little bit, of bailing the Titanic with a thimble in terms of we're trying to make sure that our children eat, our schools are funded, our roads are built, and I hear nothing from them other than destruction.
I mean, there he is. He's going to be in a military uniform. Okay? A la Hitler. And these idiots believe it. And what's his Gestapo? What's Trump's Gestapo or SS? It's ICE. It's ICE. So, listen now to this. This is in Worcester. Okay, for those of you who listen across the country and not in Massachusetts, what would you say? What, Central Mass? I mean, I like to say Western Mass, but it's not really Western Mass. It's more like Central Western Mass. Anyway, it's away from Boston, but they've got their share of moonbats. And so listen now to this. A Worcester City Councilwoman by the name of Etel Haxiaj. I've never heard of this woman before. Etel, E-T-E-L, Haxiaj. H-A-X-H-I-A-G. She apparently represents Worcester's District 5. Well, on Friday, ICE rolled in to arrest. Now listen to this. They were there to arrest an illegal alien. Her name is Ferreira de Oliveira. She is an illegal alien, listen to this, who was recently arrested by Worcester police for assault and battery with a dangerous weapon and assault and battery on a pregnant victim. So she's in the country illegally. She apparently, according to Homeland Security and the local police, used a dangerous weapon to beat a pregnant woman. ICE came in and said, we're deporting her. She's a criminal illegal alien. Out you go. Well, guess what? Somebody tipped off the neighborhood. It was these anti-illegal alien, these pro-illegal alien, anti-ICE groups. And about 25 of them showed up outside of this woman's home while ICE was in the process of trying to apprehend her. She resisted arrest, but that wasn't even close to the worst of it. With the crowd now, the mob, getting worse and worse, this woman's daughter, who apparently is also, she's got a baby. So this illegal alien's daughter with her baby, holding her baby, is trying to block ICE from leaving the driveway, from backing up the car, even if it means it could hurt her and her baby. And then you have other people in the mob. One of them was arrested. Her name is Ashley Spring. She apparently is running for local school board, if you can believe it, throwing unknown liquids. They don't know what it was, on ICE agents and on police. This councilwoman, this crazy moonbat, shows up. And again, this is a pure insurrection. This is an insurrection. This is obstructing law enforcement as they're trying to deport a violent illegal alien who used a dangerous weapon to beat a pregnant woman, for God's sake. That's what you're defending? This Etel Haxiaj, okay, this Worcester Moonbat, city councilwoman, incites the mob to prevent ICE from arresting the woman. She then, a la Monica McIver, the body slammer, she then assaults not just ICE agents, but Worcester police, pushing them, shoving them, blocking them, obstructing them, yelling and screaming at them. Local Worcester police, the local patrolmen's union, released a statement, and this is what they said on Saturday. Again, this is about the city councilwoman in Worcester, a Democrat, obviously, radical Democrat. Etel Haxiaj incited aggression towards the police during the incident. This counselor participated in the conduct of the unruly crowd and eventually assaulted both Worcester police and federal law enforcement officers on the scene. Her behavior also emboldened others to act in this manner. The police are now demanding that she be arrested. ICE wants her arrested. Local police are saying, we don't care if she's a local city council person. She needs to be arrested. Now, just so that you know, de Oliveira's daughter, okay, so the illegal alien who's been beating on a pregnant woman, her daughter, the one with the baby, was also arrested. Not only did she try to prevent them from leaving with their car, with her baby in tow, she then ran after the ICE car and began kicking its passenger side. The daughter of the illegal was charged with reckless endangerment of a child, disturbing the peace, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest. Now, thank the Lord, the baby, the infant, was not injured during this mob. Now, I want you to listen to this. This is another insurrection on the streets of Worcester. I want you to picture about 25 people shouting, screaming, a lot of obscenities, literally getting in the way of ICE. There's some woman laying on the ground. Like, in other words, if you're going to leave, you have to run me over. You got others, and it's F you, F this, F this. They're shouting, where's the warrant? Where's the warrant? We want the warrant. We hate ICE. We hate ICE. And they're physically preventing these ICE officers from arresting the woman. And the media in this state, this is unbelievable. Police are now questioning people on Beacon Hill are now questioning the arrest of a defenseless mother as she was put on the ground by ICE. These are Gestapo tactics. This is police brutality. We're investigating. The mayor of Worcester, that crazy moonbat, is now chastising Worcester police and chastising ICE, saying, you had no right to come into our community. You had no right to make these arrests. This was a mother with a daughter and a grandchild. How dare you? This is just a taste of the confrontation with this mob, and it was a mob, on Friday with, by the way, the illegal alien, the violent illegal, the one that likes to beat pregnant women with a stick or whatever, with a dangerous weapon. She's yelling and screaming. And this crowd is now confronting ICE, saying, you're not going to arrest her. We're not allowing you to arrest her. Roll cut 16, a mic. Okay, so she's yelling and screaming hysterically. Her daughter is yelling, screaming hysterically. The baby is screaming. Then these activists show up and they're yelling and screaming. Now, as the illegal alien, this criminal illegal alien, is being taken away, this District 5 councilwoman, Etel Haxiaj, now she starts to block the car along with the mob so it can't drive away. And people are shouting, no warrant. They're telling the ICE agents, you shouldn't be arresting this person. Then they're saying, don't you dare touch the councilwoman, because they're saying, listen, lady, I don't care if you're a public official or not. Get out of the way. You are obstructing us. We are trying now to detain this illegal and take her to a detention facility. We are in the process of making an arrest. You are obstructing and blocking us. Roll cut 16A, Mike.
No warrant! No warrant! You do not have a warrant! You do not have a warrant! We're going to remove you
Now, you can't, the video is much more powerful than the audio. This council member is literally standing in front of the car. She's not letting ICE agents go through, to complete the arrest, to take her to a detention facility. Now, I want to play one more cut, and I want to throw it open to you, the great audience of Kuhner Country. A couple lines are open if you want to jump on. 617-266-6868 if you want to be part of the show. First of all, notice now, everybody's a lawyer. Have you noticed that? Everybody's a lawyer now. No warrant, no warrant. You don't know if they have a warrant. You don't know if this is a court order from a judge. You have no idea. But you're sticking your nose in something that's none of your business. You are obstructing law enforcement while they're in the process of making an apprehension and making an arrest. Now, that is illegal. To be brutally honest with you, I'm watching this and I'm like, I would arrest every single one of them. Like, this is outrageous. Everyone blocking the street, everyone getting in the way of ICE, everyone giving them the middle finger, everyone just standing there trying to prevent them from doing their job. You have no business to prevent police in the process of making an arrest. That's number one. Number two, again, the media is going on a mother, a grandmother. Again, like the Maryland man, Kilmar Abrego Garcia. It's just a Maryland man, just an innocent man, a family man, a father. A woman brought to the ground, yelling, screaming, shrieking, ah, ah, ah. And they're like, these are brutal police tactics on a mother, an innocent mother. Okay, to state the obvious, she's here illegally. She's a criminal. B, she's been charged with assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. C, she's been charged with assault and battery of a pregnant woman. Okay, the woman is going around beating other pregnant women. No, we're not supposed to know. So if I beat a pregnant woman, no, I'm not supposed to be arrested? No, that doesn't happen anymore? No, can't do that now? The mob decides who gets arrested and who doesn't? The mob decides who should be deported and who shouldn't? It's like a veto now, a mob veto? Healy's now weighing in. Very disturbing, very disturbing. The mayor of Worcester, that moron. I shouldn't be in our community. Listen now to this crazy councilwoman. I want her gone. I'm telling you, I want her gone. I want her arrested. The Worcester cops on this are not 100, but 1,000% accurate. Etel Haxiaj, should be arrested. I don't know what they're waiting for. This is her now. She's berating ICE officers for being too rough on this Ferreira Oliveira woman, this illegal alien woman. Roll cut 16B, Mike.
You arrested her and threw her on the ground.
When I was over there, the officer arrested her because she was obstructing me. We told her to get out of the way.
All you needed to do is just have one of us hold her and contain her. You didn't have to take her. This is what we talk about. This is what we talk about. That's a use of force. It's unnecessary. It is unnecessary. No, it's not emotional. It's real because those people. It's very real for them.
I understand that.
Okay?
I understand that. Yep.
And you guys were acting disrespectfully. Okay? I'm trying to protect my constituents.
Okay.
And I was wagging my finger as if I'm a piece of garbage. I have a right to be here. I'm the city councilor, and I'm protecting my constituents.
You're
Okay?
doing all you can, right?
Okay, but there was no reason why that woman was bent on the floor. Would you agree with me?
When I turned around, she was on the ground. Okay.
She wasn't on the ground. She didn't get there by herself, sir.
Okay, wait.
She was put there. She was put.
I would arrest her on the spot. I don't know why. They're being way too nice. Way too nice. Number one, just a couple of points, and then I want to go to the phone lines. I'll even play it again if you don't believe me. She kept saying, my constituents are being mistreated. I have a right to be here. My constituents? This is a criminal illegal alien. She doesn't vote. She's not a citizen. She's not a legal resident. How the hell is she your constituent? Now, you see, they're giving the game away. They're giving the game away. That's my voter. Hey, easy. You don't arrest my voter. What are you talking about? You keep arresting these illegals. Who the hell's going to reelect me? Hey, no. Those are my constituents. How is she a constituent? She's a criminal illegal alien. She has no right to be there. She's not paying taxes. She's living on the public dole, our money, and she doesn't have a right to vote. And suddenly now that's your quote-unquote constituent? She's not your constituent unless she is your constituent because they're illegally voting for you. That's number one. Number two, the reason why they put her on the ground was because she was resisting arrest and frankly behaving like a savage and an animal. So what are they supposed to do? Just let her escape? Like, is this, what, let her continue to hit the police? So again, now, she gave a speech later. Trust me, you can find it. It's everywhere. This is what she said. I want ICE out of Worcester. ICE doesn't belong in Worcester. ICE is not wanted in Worcester. Get ICE out of our community. In other words, don't deport or detain a single illegal alien. I don't care how many pregnant women they beat. I don't care how many drugs they traffic into my community. I don't care how many of my constituents die of fentanyl or drug overdose. I don't care how many people are assaulted, raped, or murdered, or children molested. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, let me ask you, it's the Kuhner Country poll question of the day, sponsored by Mario's. Mario's quality roofing, siding, and windows. Should elected officials, once they are arrested or convicted of obstructing ICE agents, should they be expelled or should they lose their jobs or be expelled from their seat? In other words, is it time for these people to finally lose their positions if they're arrested for obstructing ICE? A, yes. B, no. You know where I stand. I am an A. I am a yes all the way on this baby. But I want to hear from you. You can vote on our webpage, wrko.com/Kuhner. WRKO.com/Kuhner. KUHN is in National ER. You can also vote via X. And again, I was very active on X last night. My handle there, at the Kuhner Report, all one word, at the Kuhner Report, KUH, and is in National ER. Okay, this Etel Haxiage, should she be arrested for having obstructed ICE and Worcester police in doing their jobs, for having assaulted police officers and ICE agents, and for having inciting the mob to trying to stop ICE from arresting a criminal illegal alien who has been charged with using a dangerous weapon to beat a pregnant woman? I say yes. Arrest this moonbat from Worcester, but that's me. And the larger question, ICE now, are they in increasing danger from the mob? Clearly now, wherever they go, mobs are forming, they're getting bolder, they're obstructing, hitting them, assaulting them, verbally abusing them, trying to prevent them from doing their jobs. Is it now time to crack down on anyone who gets in the way of ICE? 617-266-6868. Lines are blazing. Raymond in Arlington. Thanks for holding, Raymond, and welcome.
Jeff, I'd just like to say I love you in a non-sexual way.
Thank you very much, Raymond. What do you make of all this, my friend?
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I think we all voted for one thing, and that was to obviously clean up the streets and get everything done. I don't see that happening. A lot of the politicians should be arrested. If you or I break the law in that way, we're arrested. So, you got to start somewhere.
I'm just curious, Raymond. I think you really put your finger on it. If the police, let's forget aside, ICE, Worcester, the Worcester cops, Newark, just if police officers were engaged in an arrest of a suspect charged with using a dangerous weapon to beat a pregnant woman, and you and I prevented them, incited a mob to prevent them, pushed them, shoved them, blocked them, prevented them for a while from even leaving, spat on them, swore at them, told people to stand on the street and prevent them from executing, the arrest and the apprehension. Call me crazy. I think you and I would be in jail. And I think there'd be no controversy about it whatsoever. Yet, for some reason, they're trying to blame the police. The mayor of Worcester is trying to blame the police. The governor is trying to blame the police. The media is trying to blame the police. So it's like, in other words, if it's ICE doing the arresting and they're arresting a criminal illegal alien, then yeah, the mob can stop them. Politicians can stop them. You can do whatever you want. That's the mentality now. That's the message that they're sending. Am I wrong?
Absolutely right. I think on our side, we have enough people that voted in Trump, right? So maybe we should start voting these politicians out. And if you're in that situation where you're blocking an illegal and saying that that's your constituent, then that's an issue in itself. There's too many of us. There's a lot more of us than the politicians, right? So why don't we start holding them accountable?
I'm with you. I'm with you all the way. Okay, thank you very much. Great call, Raymond. I really appreciate it. Let me ask all of you, should this city councilwoman from Worcester, Etel Haxiage, or Haxiage, however you pronounce her last name, and frankly, I don't care, should this crazy woman, and that's what she is, she's crazy, she's a member of the lunatic left, Should she be arrested for assaulting Worcester police, ICE agents, and literally obstructing, blocking them? 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, what you're about to hear now, no, this is not January 6, Washington, D.C. No, it's not even Newark over the weekend at the ICE detention facility. Nope. This is Worcester. When ICE moved in, along with Worcester police, to arrest a criminal illegal alien charged with using a dangerous weapon to beat and assault a pregnant woman. And when ICE decided to move in, a mob showed up, led by a city councilwoman who incited them and said, "Stop ICE now, block ICE now. This arrest is not going to happen." Roll cut 16, a mic. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And the police are telling him, back up, you're getting in our way, get out of the way. And the lady screaming hysterically, she's resisting arrest. Another woman who's running for school board starts throwing some unknown liquid on the police. You've got the daughter of the illegal alien with her baby yelling, shouting, blocking ICE, preventing their car from backing out, kicking the side doors, the passenger doors. And, of course, you've got that crazy city councilwoman, Etel Haxiaj, shouting, screaming, inciting, telling him, block them. You know, she's standing in front of the car saying, "You're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere." Pushing police, shoving police. So I just want to read to you these texts, and you tell me if you agree or disagree. You can text the Kuhner Man, 70470, 70470. This is from 781. Jeff, where is Attorney General Pam Bondi? Obstruction of ICE elevates these crimes to a federal level. The state charges of assault notwithstanding against that illegal alien, all of that mob can and must be hunted down and prosecuted, and this is all in caps, on a federal level, just like during the J6 era. Garland did it. Get off Fox News, Pam. Get going on the arrests. Put them in federal custody. No bail. This is civil war when mobs defy federal officers. Now, another one, 508. Jeff, if you could please ask your audience this fundamental question. If a mob obstructed the arrest of any of the J6ers, Garland would have the whole mob in jail, if not shot on the spot. We have Kash Patel and Dan Bongino at the FBI use the same face recognition technology used to identify J6ers. Send the FBI to arrest these actual insurrectionists in Worcester. And I have to say it, Jeff, there is no need to rely on the corrupt local judiciary in Massachusetts. This is now a matter of federal jurisdiction. Send in the FBI, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino. And get out of the hair salon, Pam Bondi. Act, don't talk. Now, both of these texters are completely correct. The moment the mob acted, including this crazy councilwoman, okay? Etel. The moment Etel Haxiaj incited the mob, obstructed ICE, put her hands on ICE agents, and began to push and shove. This is no longer a local matter. This is now a federal. This is now a federal matter. This is a federal level. And I forget if it was 781 or 508, but whichever it was, when they said, whoa, 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 whoa. Can you imagine if a mob went out there and prevented the arrest of J6ers? What do you think Merrick Garland would do? What do you think his DOJ would do? That mob would be in jail. And lucky if they weren't shot on the spot. It's time now for the DOJ to get involved. In Worcester. It's time for the U.S. District Attorney to get involved. In Worcester. It's now time to send a message loud and clear. You obstruct ICE, that is a federal crime and a federal felony. We're going to put your ass in jail. And I don't care if you're a member of Congress, as in Newark, or a mayor, as in Newark, or a city council member, as in Worcester, Massachusetts. I don't care. No one is above the law. Arrest them. Period. Full stop. And let me just say one last thing. You've got the union for the Worcester Police, the Patrolmen's Union, sending out a statement over the weekend, practically begging the Attorney General, Andrea Campbell, the state AG, practically begging the mayor, saying, we were spat on, we were assaulted, we were obstructed, we were kicked at, we were not able to do our jobs. Why aren't these people in handcuffs? And why isn't this councilwoman in handcuffs? Just because she sits on a city council doesn't give her the right to break laws or act with impunity. She can't just come in there and start obstructing us from doing our job and preventing us from arresting someone who clearly poses a threat to the community, is an illegal alien, and needs to go. So, my question to you, very simple. Do you believe this councilwoman will be arrested? And should she be arrested? Or are politicians ultimately now above the law? 617-266-6868. Bob in Plymouth. Thanks for holding, Bob, and welcome.
Hey, Jeff. Good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
My pleasure, Bob.
You know, I agree with everything you're saying. These people have to be arrested. And I'm going to go back quite a few years. I used to live in New Jersey. My town was one town over from Newark. And this mayor got elected. His name was Sharp James. He ended up in prison for all kinds of corruption. But things never got better. It got worse and worse. And the crime and all started spilling over into my town. And nobody did anything about it. When the kids come out of the high school, now they didn't even live in town. They lived in Newark, but they gave an aunt's address or whatever in my town so they could go to the school. Well, when the school let out in the afternoons, they wouldn't walk on the sidewalks. They're walking in the middle of the street, challenging everybody to hit them. It was bedlam, total bedlam. So I got out of there in 91. And also, Cory Booker was mayor, too, and he did nothing to help the situation. And now he's up there on the Capitol steps doing what? The whole thing is it's so out of control. And this stuff that's going on in Worcester, my next-door neighbor, his son is going to college in Worcester starting in the fall. And I'm worried about the kid. He's a nice kid. And how is it ever going to end? Who's going to, like you said, Pam Bondi, what is she doing?
Well, she's getting ready to do another interview on Fox. I mean, she's getting her hair done and she's auditioning for a gig on Fox. I mean, I'm sorry, but I can't read the evidence any other way now. Look, this Worcester story is it's not just local, it's a huge national story. The images are chilling. And look, it's obvious now. Massachusetts, like California, like Illinois, like New York, like so many other of these blue states, we are infested with illegals. To show you my naivete, I thought it was the greater Boston area, places like Lawrence, whatever, Quincy. Man, it's all the way out there in Worcester. They're pumping these illegals everywhere. 617-266-6868 is the number. Eddie in Quincy. Thanks for holding, Eddie, and welcome.
Good morning, Jeff. I'm looking at the Supreme Court. I believe they're supposed to meet on the 15th to determine whether these lower court judges can, basically run the country. And Pam Bondi has got to act just for that. I mean, I think it might have been your show early last week that they might be afraid, and they're not going to act the way they should. They get kids. I mean, look what happened to Kavanaugh outside his house, and Amy Coney Barrett's got 7 kids. I mean, you start putting a crowd in front of her house. I mean, it's got to affect her. But Bondi's got to start to do something.
Well, Eddie, look, I agree. And just to piggyback off of what you're saying, look, I urge everybody, please don't take my word for it. Look at that video out of Worcester. I mean, the video out of Newark is so outrageous. I mean, look, that congresswoman she's a thug. She's clearly a thug. But you go to the Worcester video, it's everywhere. You got this mob, and these are big cops. These are big, beefy, muscular, strong guys. And they're not afraid of them at all. They're coming up to their faces. Some of them are spitting at them. They're swearing at them. They're pushing them. They're shoving them. They have no respect for them whatsoever. Everybody's got their phones out. They're almost trying to provoke the cops to do something. And that's an out-of-control mob. And they're basically saying, no, you don't run Worcester. We run Worcester. And we don't care what this illegal alien has done, who she's assaulted, how many pregnant women she's beaten up with a dangerous weapon. We don't want, as, that crazy councilwoman said, we don't want ICE in our community, period. It's almost like we're going to force them out. Now, today, it's with fists and shoves and pushing and kicking and blocking cars and swearing and throwing liquids at them. This continues. I'm telling you, in a couple of weeks, it's going to be knives, it's going to be guns, it's going to be bullets. Like, they're putting ICE agents, their lives in danger. They're putting, frankly, innocent bystanders in danger. Like, this mob is out of control. And it's all being fueled by the big lie, which is that Trump is a fascist dictator. And that ICE is just arresting people because they feel like arresting people. Like, the media, to me, I blame the media and the Democrats for this. They are pushing this big lie. And people are deliberately buying it. And you're right. You can't have roves, packs of mobs running around and just assaulting police or assaulting ICE or now literally protecting violent, criminal, illegal aliens. That's what they did in Newark. That's what they're doing in Worcester. That's what they're doing around the country. And just to take it back to Newark, Eddie, for a second, you've got members of Congress body slamming female ICE agents, punching them, grabbing them by the throat, because they want to shut down a facility that is detaining murderers, rapists, and convicted drug dealers and child sex traffickers. These people are insane. They remind me of the Bolsheviks, really. Psychopaths who are willing to do anything to regain power. Anyway, final word to you, Eddie.
Jeff, the Worcester cops should have arrested these people and then throw it upstairs. I think they were ordered, and they've been ordered across the board. Don't arrest these people that are demonstrating. Arrest them, throw it in the captain's lap, throw it in the police commissioner's lap. Why don't you want these people prosecuted? But it doesn't matter. They'll go to court, Jeff, and the judge will just let them off. Give them a slap on the wrist.
Unless you get the feds involved. See, I think that's the thing now with ICE. That involves the feds. So that takes it out of the corrupt local courts. No, you can tell. It's obvious. Look, the Worcester police were told, we don't want you to arrest anybody. And I'm telling you, it came from the mayor. First of all, it came from the governor, who then told the AG, who then told the mayor, who then told the local captain or whatever, you don't arrest people. Unless you really have to. So one woman literally was throwing liquid at him. Well, you have to do that. They don't know what the liquid was. And you had that crazy daughter with her baby blocking the car, preventing them from moving, and then kicking the passenger door as she's holding the baby. So for the safety of the baby, because I'm telling you, she was gonna drop that baby would have been killed or badly hurt. So the police had to step in to arrest her for the sake of the baby. But everybody else, they got away scot-free. And that's why they wrote that. To me, it was almost a pathetic statement saying, we were attacked, we were assaulted, we were obstructed, this mob met us, and it was all because of this councilwoman. She incited them. She egged them on. She emboldened them. And then she also attacked us. And our hands are tied. So they're basically saying, so let me get this straight. If you're a Democrat member of the city council, you can just attack police with impunity? You can prevent us from making arrests with impunity? You can urge a mob to go after police officers with impunity? If this is not rectified, mark my words, like Black Lives Matter, you're going to see police leave the Worcester police force and other police forces around the country. No one is above the law, including scumbag Democrat politicians. And on that note, bye-bye.